For the indigenous Afro-American Dark Indians, it was a pivotal point of no return towards slavery, confusion, oppression, terrorism, bondage, and continuous warpath upon them on their own soil. Post-Revolutionary War, the new European Americans did not hesitate to exercise their greed and do just the opposite as England had advised, and just immediately expanded all over the country, taking up all masses of indigenous territory. Their first mission was the Western Plains. Understand that the Western Plains contained Native American Indians, mainly of Siberian Asian origins, who were absolutely unknown to the European colonialists until they were guided to the Great Plains post-Louisiana Purchase by the dark Indian Sacagawea and her husband in 1806. So you see, for 200 years, the Afro-American Dark Indians fought, farmed, struggled, and built, while the Native Americans of Siberian ancestry lived in the plains unbothered for 200 years. The Western Plains Indians, unless they had migrated to mix with the dark Afro-Indians, did not fight in the Revolutionary War or the Civil War. The Western Plains Indians are clearly not the same as the indigenous Afro-American Dark Indians. They are, and they were, and still are, completely different people with different lifestyles and ways. The post-revolutionary invaders' land greed led to the Bloody War of 1812, which actually, the greed that they were feeling extended even to the Eastern Shore. In fact, the Virginia Assembly and Virginia settlers in 1813 demanded possession of what was left of the Accawmacke Indian Reservation land. That is, in addition to the fact that they had already taken the entire country, including the entire Eastern Shore. The Virginia Assembly had the audacity to claim that the eternally and always Afro-American Dark Indians in appearance looked as they always did because they were mixed and married to blacks of unknown or African origin. In truth, our Accawmacke Indian ancestry does contain various European ancestors, some European whites, but also some European black ancestors. On the Eastern Shore, the Accawmacke have no verified ancestry that comes from Africa. Only black Europeans and white Europeans. As a matter of fact, the governor of Virginia clearly stated in the 1708, that it was rare to see a Negro ship on the shores. That Negroes that came would have come from Barbados. Okay? So, with that being the case, they had the audacity to claim that people who had no verified African ancestry were no longer Indian. So, the Virginia Assembly made this statement knowing good and well that back in the early 1600s, when the reservation was created, the Accawmacke people were renamed along with the reservation. They renamed the people in the reservation Gingaskin, which is an anagram for nigga skin. How could a people use such a revealing and derogatory term as nigga skin and keep the evidence right in the names of the people, who they are now saying are not Negroid in appearance, when it is extremely apparent by the name given in an anagram that they always noticed and knew the Accawmackes have Negroid appearances? For almost 200 years, they secretly referred to the Accawmack Indians Niggaskins by calling them Gingaskins. A little later, in 1831, the Nat Turner Uprising was truly the last Indian War. Nat is a known indigenous Indian name, and Nat Turner is a known Afro-American dark Indian associated with both the Nottoway Indians and the Accawmacks. Nat Indian War set the tone. It set fire to hate and terrorism against all Indians, and the Virginia Assembly, as a result, took the Gingaskin Reservation away from the Accawmacks. Loss of land brought poverty to many families. The Nat Turner War also beckoned on the Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears was another mechanism meant to divide and separate Afro-American dark Indian families and establish the false superiority of the government-sanctioned new Native Americans. The Trail of Tears was used to ensure that Afro-American dark Indians would never come together to war again. The Trail of Tears was done to protect the economic powerhouse of the European American Corporation.